You hear me now, man. See, this is the part of having technical difficulties. Coach Ken, I gave you a shout out, my bro. Said I'm proud of you, my Spartan dog, Glenn in the building. Shout out to you. I guess my mic was muted. This is a part, like I said, this is a part of me doing big moves versus bold moves. I've never had a setup like this. Well, I've had a setup like this, but it's been a very long time. This is me just coming on early in the morning. I started getting ready for this at 5 o'clock this morning. Where you're at, if you're on Eastern Standard Time, it's probably almost 30 minutes to 9 o'clock, 33 minutes to 9 o'clock. It's early out here on the West Coast though. But you know, since my mic was muted, I guess I have to go back and say everything that I said. Is big moves versus bold moves. Big moves versus bold moves. And the bold moves, which are just being brave moves, those are the moves that are gonna set you up to make the big moves. What you do day to day, those are bold moves. Those are brave, bold moves that are going to set you up to make big moves. Are like, I want to ask you, what are some of the brave moves or bold moves that you are doing on a day to day? Man, that could be raising your kids. That could be going to work. That could be working on that business adventure. That could be coaching, that it could be mentoring. It's so many different things that are classified as those bold, essentially those bold moves that you do every day. And those bold moves are leading you and setting you up for you to be able to make the big moves. And sometimes it's hard to, on a day to day, it's hard to see those things. It's hard to even envision those things that you're going to be able to make those big moves simply because you don't see the finish line, and I'm gonna fight back on that, because it's like, if you see it in your head on you making those bold moves, those brave moves every single day, you have to understand that those moves are going to lead to something. And it's a thing, and we'll talk about this at another time. But I think that brings in, the faith over fear, because that's a big one. But right now, we're just on that path of talking about big moves versus bold moves. And I mean, if you're listening, you're out there, I mean, drop it in the comments. What are some big moves? Um, oh, I'm sorry, not big moves. What are some bold moves that you're doing every single day? Like I said, that could be taking care of your kids, that could be coaching, that could be going to work. All of those different things. I look at those are bold moves, those are brave moves, and those are moves that are actually building you up, whether you see it or you don't see it. Sometimes the work that we do every day, we think that it goes in vain. We think that it's not accounting for nothing. We think that it's not doing anything. But the reality of it is, it is building you up. It is making you stronger. It is making you sharper. It is making the people around you better. As I'll say, bolder. It's making you bolder. But what are some things that you guys are doing, far as like I said, brave moves, bold moves, and I know for me, like I said, just getting up this morning and doing this, what I'm doing right now, this is a bold move for me. It was the, let me try something different. Let me get out of my comfort zone. Let me do something. Let me just do it. Let me attempt to do it. Let me set up some lights. Let me set up a mic. Let me set up the camera. This stuff is, not necessarily the easiest to do, but for me, it's a bold move, and it's something that I want to do. And I think when you're reaching out to do, you know, your everyday things, they're not always going to be things that you want to do. And there are going to be things that you do want to do. And like I said before, the only way to do them is just to go do it. I think it's I think it's important. The world we live in today is you have to go after what you want to go after. And I think it takes making bold moves to go after what you want to go after. There will be a lot of times to where people will say, you can't do this. You're not fit for this. You're not the person for this. You shouldn't be doing this. And it's like, you can listen to all of those things, or you can go make your bold move. Whatever that looks like. I don't know. It's different for everybody. But I would say challenge yourself, challenge other people, and just be bold. I mean, that's it. Be bold about what it is that you want to do. Be brave about it is what you want to do. I'll say a big something that led into from bold moves to big moves. I don't really talk about me playing professional football or collegiate football. And for people that don't know me, my name is Brandon A. Denson. I live with type 1 diabetes, and I was diagnosed at this point, over 20 years ago. And it was I mean, that's a whole nother conversation for another day. But it's challenging living with diabetes. So every day for me is really a bold move. And it's really a big move too, because every single day is different on my path and on my journey. And just in life, everybody else's path is gonna be different on this walk through life. And that's fine. That's what makes us different and unique, uniquely awesome. Awesomeness. Super. But I think to get back in what I was saying is I don't talk about being a professional athlete. I don't talk about being a collegiate athlete, being a walk-on athlete at a Big Ten university. Is because at one point in time, I was just going through the process of my bold moves that turned into big moves. And a lot of that started from a foundation that was built, I would say, ultimately from my family, from my coaches, from my teachers, growing up in Ypsilanti. A lot of people said that, one, they thought I was just bad as hell. But I think, with the right mentorship and the right people, the guidance is super important that you get from people. And that allows you to be bold too, as well. I think that allows you to make bold moves, from having people around you that support you. That's super important. But I would say, like, a lot of people said that I couldn't go to the next level and play football at Michigan State University. I mean, hell, even my head coach at that time, um, which is crazy. That's another story for another day. But I think sometimes the denial of you making your bold moves and people not necessarily approving them or thinking they can be done, I think that sometimes can just be fuel to the fire, which is a good thing, right? I think that being able for people to say that you can't do something, I think that's them looking at themselves and seeing the bold thing that you're trying to achieve, or the bold thing that you're trying to do, is that you're not essentially able to do it or attempt it. Um, and that's based on their fear of what, kind of what they're scared to do. And I think just being bold in general, just really making bold moves, is just going after whatever it is that you believe in. And it's the fight or flight, the faith over fear. I just, it's a thing of like, when you make a bold move, are you scared to make the bold move? Like, are you just scared? Yeah, you probably are. Look, when we're, especially if you're not a kid, and kids are scared to make bold moves, because I was once a kid scared to make a bold move. But as an adult, sometimes we're told not to really oh, you don't want to do that and you shouldn't do this. And it's like, if you believe in it, make the bold move. Like make the bold move. You have to make the bold move. You have to make the bold move. I see we got some people in here. What's going on, Jen? How you doing? Man, it's been a long time. It's been a long time. Travis, what's going on? Looks like Nate is in here. Yeah, we got some people in here. That's cool. Um, yeah, I don't want to be like, hey, I'm gonna be going live at this time. I'm working on my making my bold moves and you know doing the things that ultimately make me feel good. And I think that's a part of making bold moves. And I think those bold moves that you make daily, they will eventually turn into something and they will ultimately be big moves. And I think that's very, 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 very important. Want to say good morning to everybody that's in here right now. Appreciate you guys dropping in. I was just talking about big moves versus bold moves, and I think that the bold moves that you make every single day turn into the big moves. Being consistent about the things that you're doing. I think every day you should look at it. I know when I played football at Michigan State, I used to hate conditioning, but I realized the conditioning was getting me ready for the season. Whether it was spring conditioning, oh God, I hated that. Waking up so early in the morning to condition. I think waking up early in the morning is not easy for everybody, but throw type 1 diabetes in there and you're waking up at 4 o'clock in the morning to start running at 5 o'clock to turn around and go to classes. I mean, but that was a part of making bold moves that actually eventually went into big moves. And that allowed me to earn a scholarship. That allowed me to play at a Big Ten university. That allowed me to become a professional athlete. So sometimes on this path, we have this big move that we want to do or we want to make, and that's fine. But it's a lot of big bold moves that kind of happen prior to that real big move happening. And excuse me. And I think that's just a part of being able being able to ultimately set you up for the big move, you know. And oh man, let me drop this. Coach Ken says, so you're saying bold moves turns into blessings. Man, blessings every single day. Yes, absolutely. Bold moves do turn into blessings, which is that big move that may be something that you've been going after, you've been trying to obtain, you've been trying to do. And it is, Jen said it too, that follows along. It's the preparation for the big move. Sometimes we want everything all at once. And I think as humans, that's fine. We want to just receive everything and get everything exactly how we want it. But I think when you put in that work day in, day out to become a better you, a better person, not just for yourself, but for others, I think things start to align and they start to fall in place. Right. And when that happens, like Coach Ken said, the blessings start to come. And sometimes we want it on our time. We want the things to happen how we want them to happen, right? But it's divine timing. It's timing when we're ready for those things. And that comes from putting and doing the bold moves and being brave and stepping into it. And nobody says that you have to have it all figured out to start it. Nobody says you have to have it all figured out to do it. It's just part of the process of being brave and making a bold move that will set you up for a big move. And, sometimes I wish I could be like, hey, if you do this, I love it when somebody's like, hey, I can help you lose 100 pounds and da da da. And it's like, it might not, it might not take me 6 months. It might not take me 3 months. It might not take me 2 months. It all depends. I think and that's the thing of everybody's so different in their path. it's just not the same, you know. So I think with everything I would love to say is that no matter who you are, no matter what your situation is, no matter what you've been through, no matter what you've done, no matter what you've accomplished, there's still more to do if you aspire to do more. If you want to do more, there's still more for you to obtain and to gain. And I think it all starts with making bold moves, brave bold moves that will set you up for the big moves. And that is essentially the bold moves that you make is the preparation for you to ultimately capture and get to that big move. Hey man, everybody that dropped in here, I appreciate it. You know, like I said, today was a bold move for me. I typically I couldn't tell you the last time I did something in the podcast realm of things, but I really do enjoy it, and I love being able to talk to people and share my story, which I'm going to continue as one of my bold moves to be able to share my story, you know, as being growing up in the state of Michigan, Ypsilanti, you know, being a four sports athlete, growing up in a 50-50 home. You know, my dad was gone from like sixth grade up. You know, so like all of these different things that I've been able to go through, I've been able to make a lot of bold moves, um, which turned into big moves, you know, and I think that's the important thing. I'm gonna leave you with this as I do all the time. I think you should always be boldly achieving your dreams. Period. I don't care what anybody says. And if you aren't boldly achieving your dreams, you got to ask yourself, why are you not boldly achieving your dreams? Hey, until next time, I just want to wish you all nothing but peace, love, and happiness. And